Hello, Graham from ArionGames here, and it's been a while since my last video. There is so much happening at the moment, both in the world, in life, and with ArionGames. But I want to do a quick video because a week or so ago we released the CombatCompanion, the latest advanced fighting fantasy book, and this one has been ready for a little while. We were just waiting for the custom art, and most of the art in this was created especially for this book. So this is not the biggest advanced fighting fantasy book we've put out there. It's about 60 pages or so, but it is packed with stuff, absolutely packed. So at the start we've got an optional rules checklist, because most of the rules in this book are optional. Most of them can be dropped into a game or not used at all. There was probably never the intention for everyone to use every rule in every game. I don't think that would quite work. Some of the rules clash slightly, but what there are lots and lots and lots of options, primarily around combat. And so we've got one chapter with some new rules on hero creation. So standard advanced fighting fantasy hero creation has you with 5, 6, 7 skill probably, and so on, and a given level of competence. And actually, compared to many other games, say D&D for first level, a starting AFF hero is actually pretty competent. They're pretty good. They can take on 2 or 3 goblins without too much danger. A party of them can take on a whole group of goblins and wolves and a shaman and so on. Yeah, pretty much okay. So what this chapter introduces some new ways to create, for example, a civilian character. So no magic, realistically, normal sort of everyday person. Now that's going to be a tough adventure. But you could create a novice, so a brand new, effectively a first level adventure. Then you've got competent and veteran and expert and master, and all the way up to champion. And a champion level, this is taking on dragons type level. Now this can be used for the start of a campaign, it can be used for a mini campaign, it can be used to drop a character into an existing campaign. So you've got all these rules in there for your use. We've also got a whole load of new skills and talents. So there's 4 new special skills. We've got martial arts in there and so on. And we've also got another 10, 12 talents, something like that. And as you can see here, we've got bar fighter and battle rider and combat caster and so on. And these are all really combat fighter warrior oriented talents. You can see some of the fantastic art there. And these new special skills and talents again can be dropped into a brand new campaign or into an existing one. They just give your warrior character just that little bit extra edge and a little bit of specialization, a little bit of a way to make them different. You know, what we didn't want was all characters to take either strong arm or armor training or whatever. I wanted there to be some variability in fighter types. So you could take sniper, or you could take lucky punch, or you could take hunter or whatever. And these all allow you to differentiate between the warrior characters. Then we've got a whole load of new rules and combat options. So we've got a whole load of new critical tables. So martial arts has their own critical table, missile weapons have their own critical table. So rather than just doing double damage and a point of skill, you can now get effects from an instant kill to disabling an arm or a leg or something like that, or just reducing a point of skill or doing double damage. So we've got those. We've also put fumble tables in for missile weapons and for martial arts to round everything out. So you've got those in there, and then you've got all sorts of alternative rules. So for example, we've put in the rule for dodging in combat. In the core rulebook, you could only dodge in combat if you had the swashbuckler talent. Now anyone can dodge if they have the dodge special skill and they're not wearing armor. The swashbuckler talent makes that more effective, like armor training does. We put in there some rules for different weapon depth or weapon reach, multiple monster attacks. As it stands, 8 heroes fighting an octopus, they can all be hit by it. 1 fighter fighting an octopus can only be hit once. So we've put an optional rule to make that multi-attack monster more dangerous against solo or small numbers of heroes. And we've put new rules in for leaving combat and powerful blows, so you can auto kill if you roll well enough, and so on and so forth. And then we've put a whole load of combat options in. So there's another 12 or so combat options, so things like whirlwind attack, we've got tumbling attack, and we've got disarm and dodging attack and charging attack. So again, we put optional rules in. And another thing we've put in is learned combat options. So not everyone can use the defensive attack, or the dodging attack, or the double shot, or the frenzied attack. You have to learn these. So an experienced warrior has quite a few of these to draw on. A mage, who can just about handle a staff, has got a couple to draw on. And again, that differentiates between characters, and it also cuts down on choice paralysis. If you've got 18 different combat options to choose from, you go, what do I choose? And you spend ages each combat round thinking about it. If you've only got 5 or 6, they're your 5 or 6 that you use all the time. Next up, we've got martial arts. So there are a whole load of different styles named after different monsters. And if you have a character who is a martial artist, you can choose one of these styles, and it makes you better at some things and not so good at others. So you might do more damage, but you get hit more easily. Or you might dodge more easily, but you do slightly less damage. Or you might be able to attack multiple opponents really easily, but actually all your attacks are a bit weak, or whatever. Okay, and you don't have to choose one of these. You could be just someone with some martial arts, and that's fine. But if you do take one of these, it helps differentiate you from different martial artists. And it would be possible to have 6 or 8 different martial artists in a party, and they're all doing different things in different ways. Next up, we've got combat casting, combat magic. So this is a new type of magic. It's based on magic points. It's a form effectively of wizardry, like necromancy is, and so on. And we've got a whole load of 1, 2, 4, 6 power point spells, magic point spells. And this is designed to very much boost combat ability. So a combat caster doesn't really have the breadth of magic that a wizard has. They don't have as many spells, they are not able to do as many things. What they can do is boost their own fighting ability. So they can't wear armour because it's a type of wizardry, but they have a magical armour spell, they have some blade enhancement spells, they have some skill enhancement, they have magical shields, they have all of these sort of things. They can boost their combat abilities. And like any of this sort of character in many sorts of games, while they've got power points, it makes them very potent warriors. When they run out, they have to rely on their sword arm, and then they're not quite as good as a warrior. So again, you've got that balance there between them. We've got some new equipment in there, some new weapons, some new armour, some new bits of combat related equipment. And then we've got mounted combat. And mounted combat, again, we've got extra rules. So we've clarified all of the rules on fighting from horseback and charging from horseback and so on. We've got new mounted combat options. So just as there are 12 combat options for warriors to use, there's another 12 mounted combat options. Another 6 mounted combat options. So you can barge. So you can use your mount to try and knock an opponent over, barge them out of the way. You can try and break out of combat on your mount. And then you can use your mount to rear up and kick things with its horses. We've also got a whole load of different mounts. Lizards and flying creatures and wyverns and so on and so forth. Different types of horses for you to use. And then lastly, we've got templates. So the idea behind templates is you meet some goblins. Now in AFF you meet some goblins, you know they're skill 5, stamina 5, they've got short swords, short bows, light armour, small shield. You know, every advanced Final Fantasy hero, when they meet a goblin, they know what to expect, right? Well, Not with this book, wrong. So we've got templates for constructs and for undead and for animals and for demons and for humanoids and so on. So you might have an enforcer goblin. They do more damage. Or you might have a hero goblin who's got higher skill and damage and armour and better weapons. Or you might have a shaman goblin who's got some a priestly ability. You've got a wizard goblin who's got some spells. Or you've got a thug goblin who is bigger and stronger. Or you've got a veteran goblin and so on. And here you can see on the image here, you can see some of the animal templates. You've got a dire animal, which has +1 to its attack roll and +1 to damage rolls and +1 to skill and +2 to stamina. And then you've got enchanted animals that have a magical ability, and then you've got a huge animal and a large animal, and then there are chaos versions of creatures, and then there are construct templates. So there's, say, the charged construct and so on. And these are a very, very quick and easy way of generating an encounter and saying, right, we've got some goblins, but we've got 7 goblins to fight the party. Well, let's make one of them a hero, and one of them a champion, one of them a shaman, 3 of them enforcers, 2 of them scouts, and so on. And all of a sudden, you've got some hidden goblins with bows that are really, really good at shooting and are really good at stealth. You've got some much tougher goblins that the characters don't anticipate. You've got a hero that may well be the equal of one of the heroes themselves. And all of a sudden, a party of goblins no longer becomes, oh dear, yeah, you're a party of goblins, let's just trance them and loot their few gold pieces and move on. It becomes oh, hang on a minute, goblins. Remember that hero that nearly killed Bob the Barbarian last week, etc. So these templates allow a director to very, very quickly customize monsters, and they're easy to build on, they're easy to duplicate. And so this 60 pages has all sorts of options for players and for directors to really enhance the combat side of Advanced Fighting Fantasy. Because what we were very aware of was that a warrior gains some points in their special weapon, special skill as they advance, some points in their skill. They can put some extra stamina in, they might even get an extra talent occasionally. But that's it. And a brand new hero is rolling 2d6, adding their special skill to their skill and rolling on the weapon table. And the champion of Alancia, you know, the great hero of Alancia, rolls 2 dice, adds it to their better skill, their better special skill value, and rolls on the weapon table, and so on. And really the only way to break out of that was magic weapons. But that again puts a lot of onus on a director to keep dropping better and better and better magical weapons in there. So this book is firstly, it's fantastically illustrated, as you can see. Secondly, it just adds so many options to any Advanced Fighting Fantasy games that, to be honest, it's hard to see now how I would run a game of AFF myself without what's in this book. So hopefully that will interest you. Hopefully you'll pick this up. We do have a print-on-demand version, hopefully coming within maybe a week if they're approved properly. But the PDF is available now, and if you do buy the PDF now, you will get a code for the print version very shortly. I'm going to hopefully try and get more videos up. I've got another John Capsalis artist one to go up in a couple of days, and I should hopefully be getting more of these regularly. We've got a lot in the pipeline and an awful lot that could be coming out fairly soon. So until next time, happy gaming, and hopefully life is treating you all well.